All right. It is 9 o'clock. It is the 14th day of November, 2024 at 9 a.m. And we are at the Aquarium Education Center located at 706 Navigation Circle, Rockport, Texas. And I call this special meeting to order. Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney.
Here.
Commissioner Castleman.
Here.
Commissioner Russo. Here. Commissioner Dutnick.
Here.
Judge Garza.
Here. We've got a full court at this time. Do you have anybody signed up for citizens to be heard? Ladies, all right. Items for deliberation or action. Do I have a motion for item number 1?
I move to approve order O-22-2024 of the Commissioners Court of Aransas County, Texas, canvassing the returns and declaring the results of the general election held on November 5th, 2024, and containing provisions necessary and incidental thereto.
I'll second that.
We've got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Let's go to election.
So I'll just kind of summarize things. So this election actually went very smoothly, in my opinion, a lot more smoothly than I expected. It's probably honestly one of the more smoother ones I've had here since I've been here, which is, of course, is good. And I did look at some numbers comparing it to 2020 general election. We did have a slightly higher turnout count. In 2020, we had 12,358 ballots cast, and then this year we had 13,093. However, our voter registration count was lower then compared to now, and so our percent turnout was very much the same, almost practically the same, within a couple of points different. But other than that, do you have any other questions? Any questions?
So has our voters registration list, has it been purged any?
It's voter registration lists are constantly being reviewed and updated. Now, there is like called the mass cancellation every 2 years at the end of after the end of the general election. That has not happened yet. But it's all those voters that are in suspense status. We're already questioning their residence address. They were already notified that they needed to provide us some information. They still have not voted in 2 general elections for state and county officers. So those voters will be removed from our rolls.
Say that again, I didn't understand what you said.
So every 2 years after the general election, the state does a mass cancellation of voters that are in suspense.
Okay.
So those suspense voters are ones that were already questioning their residents, and they've already been sent notice, and they have not voted in 2 general elections for state and county officers. So it could be up to as few as 2 years, then up to 4 years, depending on when they were put on that suspense status.
But the percent that you had of people voting was much higher during early voting, was it not? The non-election team?
Yes, and I do actually think that came to play with our extended early voting hours. I do think our 2 weeks of 7 to 7 hours were a great thing that we did here for our voters. And we did actually see quite a bit of turnout during those early morning hours and late evening hours as well.
Thank you for doing that.
Y'all handled early voting very well.
Yes.
Of course, general voting, I'd already voted, so I wasn't up there during general voting, but I was impressed. I mean, we got there on the 3rd day, and the line was still, a pretty good ways. But I think it took 15 minutes to get in. It was not bad at all.
Yeah, those first 3 days we had over 1,000 voters a day. So it was very busy. Yeah.
It went a lot smoother than you expected. Is that because of lesson learned in past elections that you implemented?
I can say that, yes. And then maybe, I don't know, just in general, maybe the political climate here was different than what it had been previously,
Right.
which is kind of surprising, generally speaking, because political climate nationwide and statewide is more escalated than it is.
Right.
But I didn't see much of anything here locally.
All right.
Well, the staffing, I think the staffing was really good because, I mean, they handled a lot of people in a short period of time and did not rush anybody.
Right.
And I watched that, and they're not trying to get them in and out. They were trying to give the people in there time to do what they need to do without feeling rushed. And your staff was excellent.
Thank you.
I was very pleased with them.
Yeah, we do a very we do a very good job training our workers. We do like training every single time, for every election, and we did have a good batch of workers this time.
Yeah, I did.
So last time, I think there was a problem with the number of ballots distributed versus the number of ballots received. And that was one of the reasons, you talked about the scanner perhaps.
Yes,
So I am thinking perhaps you made a change in the protocol to make sure that once the ballot is distributed, if the person decides to leave before they vote, that ballot is then surrendered.
so there, I wouldn't say so much a change in protocol, but definitely we did re-emphasize some things in training. To watch pacing with there basically should only be one line in a polling place, and that's your line to check in.
Okay.
No lines anywhere else in the polling place. And so we did emphasize that a lot in training.
Good.
And in general, our election day turnout was lower for this election than it was in the primary. So when you have more turnout, there's more room for
Yeah.
error.
Okay,
And so, I mean, I won't say that we completely eliminated that issue, but we definitely have alleviated it.
and you've addressed it. Okay,
Yes.
that's good.
All right.
Great job.
Mhm.
Good work.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Anything else? All right.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casserly,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dukenyak.
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes. And now, motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casserly.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dukenyak. Judge Garza.
Aye, passes. Thank you.
Anything else this week?
Hey.